Hey guys, it's Josh with No Dad, No Problem, featuring how-tos, interviews, and reviews you can use. So this week I was having a discussion with one of my friends, and we were talking about YouTube and vlogging and podcasts and all sorts of internet-related media. And one of the questions that came up specifically was how to design or what I use to design thumbnails for my YouTube channel. So I was talking to him a little bit about the service that I use at canva.com, canva.com. I'll put a link in the show notes. But rather than just walk him through it once, I figured I'd make a video that could be of benefit to anybody who wanted to see it. Instructional is about 5 minutes long, and I hope you enjoy. Bye. All right, guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is to navigate your browser to canva.com, canva.com. This will be what the splash page looks like. If you already have an account and are logged in, it'll go to a secondary page for the designer. I'll take you over to that, but I just want to show folks who don't have an account. You can sign up with Google, with Facebook, or with your email account, completely free to do so. And once you are logged in, basically what it'll look like at their homepage, you'll have your username and profile up at the top there. It'll say design anything. So what I'm going to look to do here is I'm going to do create a design. And it's going to give me a drop-down box. All I'm going to do with this is I'm going to start typing in YouTube. I'm going to choose YouTube thumbnail. And this is going to basically auto-generate the correct size that I need for my YouTube thumbnails. Now, they have over here a whole bunch of different background images you can use if you want to. Personally, I like to use something that comes from the video or is related to it. I'm going to click the undo button. So I'm going to upload an image. Now, the image I'm going to use is an image, normally I would use something from the shoot itself, but as this is just going to be a video tutorial, I'm just going to take an image that I shot while I was out shooting this last weekend. You'll see here the image is coming in. It's got a status bar that's up here. And pretty much at this point, I can drag it in, and then I can resize my image by just dragging the corners of it to fill the entire frame. Now, if I have to stretch it, that's okay. So I'm going to stretch it out. Now, at this point, one of the things that I like to do on images, not necessarily a requirement, but I like to add a play button. So if you just, I should have it in my recently used, but if you just type in YouTube and search that, you're going to have a variety of different play buttons or subscribe button, whatever it is you want. I'm just going to use the standard one. I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to resize it. I'm going to keep it a little bit off of the corners, but you can really put it anywhere you want. Some people like them dead center. This is just kind of where I like it. So I'm going to drag it there, drop it. I may end up resizing this later. I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to try to go back to my recents. Now, I like to use a box to put lettering on, and you can adjust the colors. You can adjust the size of this box in particular, the width and the height to whatever you need. You can also adjust the coloring with it. So if I want to adjust the coloring, all I have to do is come back here. I can click this. I can see the white background there. Click up on the color palette at the top, and I can select a new color, whatever I want. For this, I think I'm just going to use black as the background. I'm going to throw a white text over the top of it. So now that I've got this placed, and again, I can resize this later if I need, I'm going to add some text. I'm going to choose a font size that I like or a style that I like. I'm going to add a bold heading. It's going to say, how to make thumbnails. Now, again, I'm going to want to recolor this because the black typeface on the black background is not going to come through. So again, I click up here to adjust my color. I'm going to select white. Then I'm going to drag this over onto the top. So it's a little bit too big for where my box is. So rather than messing with the font, because I don't want the font to be too small, or else it's going to be difficult to read on the thumbnail itself, I'm just going to drag this a bit. I'm going to center it up. And I think that looks pretty all right. If I want to try a different font face, I can just highlight. And it's going to give me a selection of fonts that I can use. More than I need. One of the big things I think with picking fonts is using a font face that's going to be readable. Because even though scripted fonts may look pretty, they're going to be tough to read. So with this one here, I think we'll use this font. Now I can make this font a little bit bigger just because of the spacing of it. That's a little too big. So that's at a 64 point. I'm going to drop it down, see what 56 looks like. Still a little bigger. No, I can make that fit. Maybe. Yeah. So how to make thumbnails. Now, if you use too many words, it's going to be cluttered. It's going to be hard to see. Anything like that. Now, say I wasn't happy with my picture that I have in the background. I can select it and then come up here to adjust or to filter. With the filter option, I can apply any sort of a filter onto it that I want from their pre-made filters. If I'm not happy with the pre-made filters, I can go to adjust. I can adjust the brightness, the contrast, the saturation. But honestly, I'm pretty pleased with how the photo actually came off of my camera itself. So I'm just going to leave that as can be. So now from a design element standpoint, I can just take a general look, make sure that I like it. So far, I think it looks pretty well for our purposes. I might consider making this a bit bigger and then centering it up on where my box was. At this point, I'm pretty much done. Now all I really need to do is to download it. Do that by clicking the download button. It's going to give me a suggested file type. PNG is fine. YouTube will accept those without an issue. So I'm going to hit the download button. Prepping our design. It's probably going to ask me if I want to share their site with all my friends. That's what I'm doing right here, sharing it with you. And it's going to say save file. Its file name that it's generating is based off of the text that I entered. So how to make thumbnails.png. I'm going to click save file. Simply dismiss this. Now if I come over to my downloads folder, I can see it sitting there. And our thumbnail, I think, looks pretty solid. So that's about all you really need to know on using Canva. They have the free option. They also have paid options with more images and graphic sizes, box styles, things like that that you can get. But for starters, if you're operating on a shoestring budget, you don't need that stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's about it. I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you in any way, please give us a like. Consider subscribing to our channel. And be well, be blessed, be loved, and have the best day ever.